Hello, guys. Today I was reading something about computers, about the history of computers, about the element of the computers. Wait for a while, let me switch off the fan. Okay, I was reading about the computers. So I think, so I thought that I should share some information with you guys as well. Okay, let's read something. Okay, a computer is actually it's the basic definition of computer. You can write it anywhere if the teacher asks you. A computer is an electronic device capable of performing commands. The basic commands that a computer performs are input, output, storage, and performance of arithmetic or logical operations. The first device actually is the history. The first device known to carry out calculation was the abacus. The abacus was invented in Asia but was used in ancient Babylon, China, and throughout Europe until the last Middle Ages. The abacus uses a system of sliding beads in a rack for addition and subtraction. I used to play with this toy in my childhood. Okay, now I think so it's clear. Now let's move to the first computer-like machine was Mark I. It was built in 1944 jointly by IBM and Harvard University under the leadership of Howard Aiken. Punched cards were used to feed data into the machines, like we use, I think so, memory card they are talking about. The Mark I was 52 feet long. Oh my god. Weighed 50 tons. I think so. My laptop is not of uh, a few kgs. Okay, had Samuel Lack 50,000 parts in 1946. ENIAC means Electronic Numerical Integrator, and calculators were built at the University of Pennsylvania. It contained 18,000 vacuum tubes and weighed some 30 tons. Oh my god. But still, it's less than like 52 feet long and 50 tons. Oh my gosh. Okay, is it clear? Yeah, it should be. Okay. The computers that we now know today use the design uh, rules given by John von Neumann in the late 1940s. His design included components such as an arithmetic logic unit, a control unit, memory, and input-output devices. These components are described. Okay, I need to remove this thing. So actually, I gathered the information for you guys. So these lines, such line came accidentally. Okay, Neumann run computers and make it possible to actually this model makes possible to store the programming instructions, the data in the same memory space. In 1951, the UNIVAC, Universal Automatic Computers, was built and sold to U.S. Census Bureau. Actually, census. Okay, because we in census I think that we need to gather data and place it somewhere safely. Is it clear? It's actually von Neumann model from where we are showing input devices, then send control unit, arithmetic logic, memory unit, and it's moving out through output device. Now the next slide is in 1956, the invention of transistor resulted in smaller, faster, and more reliable and more energy-efficient computers. This era also saw the emergence of software development industry with the introduction of Fortran and COBOL, two early programming languages. In the two major technological advancements, transistors were replaced by tiny integrated circuits or chips. Chips are smaller and cheaper than transistors and can contain thousands of circuits on a single chip. They give computer a tremendous processing speed. Actually, with each most model, when we see even in mobile phones, when new model came, it they are mostly more fast than the previous model. For example, if we take example of S8, then it would be more fast than than the S7 or so on. Uh, yes, the reason is behind our number of transistors. Yes. So next example, in 1977, Stephen Jobs designed and built the first Apple computer in their garage in 1981. IBM introduced its first personal computer, PC. Yes, the Stephen Jobs and Stephen have a uh, did a great job, and obviously, their invention made possible that today we are not using computers. Most of them, most of we are. Okay, and IBM did something even more wonderful. Stephen Jobs is looking quite young, and I think so. It's Stephen. Okay, it's a picture of 1977. Okay. Now let's discuss elements of computer system. First of all, the most important part, central processing unit, CPU or microprocessor, is actually the brain of computer. It's an electronic circuitry, the single most expensive piece of hardware in computer. The most powerful the CPU, the faster the computer. Arithmetic and logical operation are carried out inside the CPU. These are actually a small definition to facilitate mostly the beginners or students, initial students. Obviously, the advanced student would not require set information because they already knew that what actually the process is and what these things are. Okay, okay. I'm trying my level best to facilitate you guys, and I will also increase the number of tutorials to even more advanced levels, inshallah. Okay, now let's move to it. Actually, it's the continued slide. This means continued. Okay, main memory or random access memory (RAM) is connected directly to CPU. Means RAM is directly connected to CPU. All programs must be loaded into main memory before they can be executed. Similarly, all data must be bought into main memory before a program can manipulate it. When the computer is turned off, everything in memory is lost. Main memory is an ordered sequence of cells called memory cell, and each cell has a unique location in the main memory called the address of the cell. Yeah, when we switch off the computers, like apps, my Visual Studio, and its Foxit Reader will be vanished. Yes, because they are all stored in the RAM, random access memory. Okay. If I continue to my Visual Studio, you can see if I delete this thing, then this can be recovered by pressing Control and Z. Okay, whatever you call. That it will come again. Yes, this process happened due to RAM because the data was stored in RAM, and on pressing Control and Z, data recovered. I think so. It should be clear. Maybe. Okay, now next, move to the next slide. This device that stores information permanently unless the device becomes unusable, and you change the information by rewriting it is called secondary storage or hard disk. Example of secondary storage are hard disk, flash drives, floppy disk, zip disk, CD-ROM, whatever. Okay, we can also call this a volatile memory. I think so. Let me search this. This is my site. You can also check this. Okay, uh, is hard disk volatile memory? Example of non-volatile memory includes flash memory, RAM. Okay, in most type of magnetic storage devices, optical devices such as paper. Okay, let me open this. The opposite non-volatile memory is volatile memory, which needs constant power in order to prevent data from being erased. Non-volatile. Okay. RAM is non-volatile memory, and hard disk is volatile memory. Uh, For example, this program is actually saved in my computer. For example, Visual Studio is saved in my computer, and upon closing, the Visual Studio will not be vanished. However, the data is will be vanished because the data is stored in the RAM. and this program is actually stored in hard disk. I think so we are done with the basic knowledge. If you find something useful, do write this in comment, and so I can make my future videos even more better. If you like my channel, then do subscribe my channel. And if you want to test the knowledge of your C++ programming, you can also watch my tutorials for learning. And if you to test knowledge, you can download my C++ programming quiz application from Google Play Store. And if you are a student of Java, then obviously you can check my this app. Link of both apps would be in comments section. And thanks for watching. That's all.